What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving straight into the absolute chaos of Deathstroke issue 4. Start this issue with Slade Wilson's former safe house, which is completely engulfed in flames. Deadshot and Deathblow have Slade dead to rights. Deadshot has his arm cannons loaded, aims right at the battered, unmasked Slade, saying, "Normally, I'd ask if you had any last words, but Deathblow here, he's pretty religious, and I know you sometimes like to talk salty." Slade, barely hanging on, mutters, "Floyd," as he tries to plead his case, saying, "I didn't kill Wintergreen. I didn't." But Deadshot isn't listening. He's snapping back with a cold, "Save it." He lays out the mercenary code Slade allegedly broke. "You broke the rules, your own rules. You didn't follow your client's orders. You started asking questions, and then you killed your own guy. Family's supposed to be off limits, Slade." Deadshot primes his weapon. "Anyway, on the plus side, I finally get to shoot a magnum right through your temple." Just as things look completely hopeless for Deathstroke, we suddenly see two darts hit Deadshot and Deathblow. As Deadshot freezes, asking, "What the hell?" we hear somebody off panel yell, "Gosh, you boys get so worked up." Ravager comes flying into the frame with a powerhouse kick. She smashes her boot directly into Deadshot's face while taking down Deathblow as she's yelling, "Maybe you guys need to take a nap." Slade looks up completely shocked and gasps out, "Ravager?" And if you guys don't know, Ravager is Slade's daughter, Rose Wilson. Deadshot and Deathblow completely unconscious on the ground. Slade tries to play it cool. "Nice timing, kid. If you wait a couple seconds longer, they might have killed me." He extends a hand and asks for help. But guys, instead of helping here, Rose delivers a kick straight to her father's face. She pins him down with a sword pressed against the throat. "This isn't a happy family reunion." She says, "Sorry, Slade. This isn't a father-daughter team-up. I'm not here to help you. You killed Wintergreen. I came to watch you die." Slade slams her off, yelling, "That's a lie. Deadshot was about to blow my brains out. If you wanted me dead, you would have let him do it." But Rose isn't backing down. She rushes back into the fray, throws dirt into Slade's eyes, and screams, "Nobody else gets to do it. You're mine this time. You killed my friend. You killed Wintergreen." Slade grabs her, screaming, "Come on, Rose, for God's sake, you think I'd kill my own best friend? Is that the kind of man you think I am?" She responds, "That's the problem, Dad. I know exactly what kind of man you are, and I can't think of a single person you wouldn't kill." Realizing he can't convince her with words, Slade walks away. "Yeah, well, I didn't kill this one. I'm telling you the truth, and I'm about to find out who did. I got a lead. I need money if I'm going to track them down. I picked up a quick job in a city near here. Help me get there. If you find out I'm lying, you'll be close enough to kill me." We see Deadshot and Deathblow left behind, tied up in the desert. Rose has decided to tag along to see this through. She asks, "What's this job and how'd you find it? I thought Wintergreen handled all your stuff." Slade, nursing his wound, replies, "I can handle my own stuff. I found somebody who needed a cleaner on the dark web, on the mercenary boards." She scoffs, "Dark web clients, yuck." Slade defends his lack of options as he says, "Yeah, well, it's not like the other clients are bright, upstanding citizens. Frankly, every client I've ever had has been pretty much interchangeable with the targets they were sending me after. It's just, whichever scumbag has the money to pay me on that day, we follow the code." Rose looks up at him and says, "Are you feeling good about that?" Slade responds, "I don't feel a particular way about any of it. I follow orders, I get paid, and if I'm going to find out who's doing this, who killed Wintergreen, I need money. Information like that isn't cheap." Rose presses him, "And what happens after you find these guys, after you kill them, after you kill the men who killed Wintergreen?" Slade looks out his window as he says, "I don't know. Do I get my money back? They took every penny I ever earned. Guess I'll just push retirement back another couple of decades." Rose tells him he looks like he's got run over by a truck and needs to rest. He scoffs, listing his recent insane injuries. "I crashed 2 trucks and a helicopter. I got stabbed. Healing factor is doing its thing, you know how it goes. You're the same as me." Rose, somber, staring at the road. "I'm not the same as you. I'm sitting here watching you and trying to figure out if you're actually happy to be losing your humanity." As the car speeds into the sunset, we get a voiceover from Slade's internal thoughts. "Right now, I'm trying to stay alive, keep moving forward. I don't have time to worry about my humanity. They killed William. He was the only one who cared about this sort of thing." We cut to someone on a motorcycle standing over a tied-up Deadshot and Deathblow, yelling at them, "Get up!" As we cut back to them, Slade breaks the silence in the car, looking around the interior. This is a pretty nice car you stole. I didn't steal it. This is your car? No, I borrowed it. From who? Rose just gives him a silent, knowing look. She finally says, from Jason. Slade instantly panics, yelling, stop the car. What? Dad, close the door. What are you, Red Hood? This is Red Hood's car? Slade literally starts kicking the door open to bail out of the moving vehicle, shouting, you think he doesn't have this car bugged and tagged? Rose keeps driving casually, unfazed by her dad's freak out. He probably does, but he's not listening in on me. And who's listening in on him? Rose pulls the car up to the dusty roadside diner and gasps as she looks at Slade's tactical armor. Slade, you can't go in dressed like that. Like what? Rose steps out, pops the trunk, looks inside to help him out. Jason keeps a gym bag in the trunk. There's something here that'll probably fit you. See Rose and Deathstroke walking to a quiet roadside diner, wearing some surprisingly casual hoodies. Slade walks in and asks the waitress, table for two, please. They sit down. The waitress heads back, letting them know she's running a one-woman show today. Slade politely says, yeah, we're good here, sweetie. This immediately triggers Rose. She snaps, gross. Don't call the waitress sweetie. When Slade defends himself, saying she smiled, Rose shoots back, of course she smiled. She works for tips. Rose then questions his latest shady career move, asking why he's taking random dark web jobs and wondering who the target even is. Slade fires back at her. What do you care who I target? You do the same job. Your hands are not clean. Rose says, yeah, but you're Deathstroke. You get hired to take out the Justice League or the Titans or the... Slade cuts her off. Well, sometimes Deathstroke gets knocked on his ass. Sometimes Deathstroke needs money too. As the conversation gets heavier, Rose admits that she thought they'd eventually move past this. She expected more before Wintergreen passed. Slade doesn't handle the emotional weight well. He starts to shut down when we hear someone yell out, damn it, I said no onions! A customer at the counter starts shouting, where the hell is she? Does anybody work here? Rose tries to calmly explain that the waitress went to the back because the cook called in sick, but the guy snaps, what are you, the manager? Rose tries to defuse the situation by saying she isn't from around here, but the guy steps right up to the booth and says, not from around here. You Chinese or something? I ain't never seen a Chinese with hair that white. You got a smart mouth on you too. Before the guy can even finish breathing, Slade reaches up, grabs him by the throat, and chokes him right over the table with a cold menacing, go finish your lunch. The guy retreats back to his food, terrified, as he yells, I said no onions. Rose looks at Slade, not entirely thrilled with the violence, and says, you didn't have to do that. She then dives into a deep-seated trauma regarding their relationship. She explains how they used to rationalize his villainy, thinking that because he was her dad, he had to be inherently good deep down, just someone who couldn't find a healthy way to express himself due to his trauma. Slade watches her quietly, eating his lunch, only interrupting dryly to say, hey, language. Snaps back. How's that for disrespectful? Slade, looking tired, asks, are we doing like a heart-to-heart? Rose lays it all on the line. She tells him that one day she woke up and her mind became clear, realizing he was never going to magically become a good person just because he was her father. You have specifically ill intentions, and you weren't going to just be a good dude one day because you were my dad. Slade, completely emotionally detached, looks around the room and shifts the topic to financial logistics of the diner. Frustrated, Rose asks, did you even hear any of what I just said? Slade admits he did. Nothing. She wanted him to be a better man. When Rose asks if that makes him feel anything, Slade simply responds, I don't know what it made me feel. I'm not really in touch with my feelings. Rose looks him dead in the eye and asks the ultimate question, do you even love me? Slade delivers a terrifying classic Deathstroke response. I would kill every person on this planet, on Earth, for you. Rose looks down, completely demoralized by his inability to understand normal human emotion. She softens and responds, that's not what I asked. Slade then gets up, goes to the restroom, telling her, I gotta hit the head. Grab the check. We follow Slade into the bathroom as he washes his hands. Suddenly, the loudmouth from earlier walks in. He's completely oblivious to who he's dealing with as he says, that little Chinese Spitfire out there, that your girlfriend? Slade washes his hands calmly and says, don't say another word about her. The guy keeps pushing his luck as he says, hey, I ain't judging. Looks a little young for you, but she sure is pretty. Slade slowly pulls out his hoodie's wire. His eyes narrow in the shadows. The guy just punched his own ticket, proving that while Deathstroke might not know how to express love verbally, his default language will always be absolute lethal violence. As Slade walks up behind the man, Rose is outside completely oblivious, paying for the meal and thanking the waitress. Slade washes his hands, completely cold and calculated, leaving behind the bloody, lifeless body of the man slumped against the toilet bowl. Slade casually walks back to the diner, tells Rose we should get going. As they head out, Rose tries to reason with him, saying, "Slade, you don't need to take this weird job. There are other ways to make money." But Slade snaps, "I don't know any other ways. They killed William. Someone's coming for me. They're coming through the people that I... He trails off, unable to finish his thought. Rose pushes him, reminding him of what's at stake. "You're going to let them make you into a monster. I loved Uncle Wintergreen too. That's not what he would have wanted." Suddenly, Slade hits a key fob and lights up a pickup truck parked outside, saying, "I got us a new ride. Get in." That's when the horrific reality clicks for Rose. Looking at the truck, back to the diner, she panics. "New ride? Where did you... Wait, did you just kill that guy?" Slade tries to completely downplay the murder, pointing at her, whispering, "Keep your voice down. Act like a professional for 1 minute, will you?" But Rose loses her mind. "Professional? You just murdered an innocent man. I thought you had a code." Slade says, "He was being rude to you." She goes into complete rage, yelling right at his face as she screams, "You are rude to everyone. Should I murder you too?" Which pushes Slade to his breaking point as he roars, "I don't know, Rose." That's the final straw. Disgusted and heartbroken, Rose turns her back on him, declaring, "Unbelievable. I can't believe I ever... You're on your own on this one, Slade." Slade realizes he completely blew it, desperately calling out after her as he says, "Wait, come back, Rose, please." Rose storms off, alone down the hot, desolate desert highway, leaving Slade standing by the stolen truck. But here's the massive twist, guys. The camera pulls back, revealing they aren't alone. Up on the cliffs overlooking the diner, a squad of heavily armed mercenaries is watching the entire drama unfold. One of them says, "Wait for Deathstroke to leave," as we see the leader sporting a very familiar looking mask as he says, "Then take the girl." And that brings us to the end of this issue with a massive cliffhanger. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notifications when the new videos are up, and I'll see you next time.